Welcome to the third episode of my level 20 scanning game of Neptune's Pride Ultra 64-man game. This is a game that started with me having a goal to prove the value of scanning. And I'll just start off and say I failed. The test proved um, I disproved my hypothesis. I very quickly, I think I got to like scanning 7 maybe or 8 at the most before I was like I could not prioritize that over other techs that were actually going to keep me and my allies alive. So, all right, I was wrong. Scanning I still think is important, but clearly you can't do that. All right, so that out of the way, I still want to win the game. So here's where we're at. We are in a position where we have gotten it's basically east versus the west. So I'm here in the Yellow Star. Armada was my day one ally, but it's been mostly AFK all game. He helped me good in the beginning and then petered out. And at this point I'm just eating his stars, even though, and he'll probably go AFK like another 24 hours. He he has a path on auto mode to the front lines, which is a bit of a deterrent, but ultimately he's out of the game. In addition, Galactic Peace, the orange circle, let Valks consume him, and I gave him a path, so he sent all his fleets, and I'll show you this. He sent all his fleets into my core system, and then quit. So thanks a lot. I gave up a star. I gave up multiple stars, and he just quit. And now the AI is going to attack me. So that sucks. But here's the good news. Well, what's the good news? The good news is Valks and Asian Phoenix in the bottom have the two largest ship counts left because they haven't been fighting. At one point, these three were kind of fighting each other, and luckily, a few days ago, I'm like, guys, if you fight each other, we're going to lose. The West wins, and that's 100% what would have happened. Luckily, we stopped it in time before they injured each other, and now Asian Phoenix immediately is able to get over and help because Bubicon here is losing ground fast. He at one point was all the way out here, and the other issue, of course, is Steely Phil issue. So basically, what we have here is Steely Phil turned on his alliance because in order to save himself, staring down the barrel of more than 10k ships on my border, I was given a choice and made the decision to switch teams. My fleets have turned around and will soon engage on you in the battlefield. So he's basically a traitor. And Asian Phoenix, shame on you, sir. And Bill is a naughty boy. He basically Bubicon noticed 7,000 fleets sitting way back here, and then we looked at the intel and saw that they weren't fighting, and then we saw that everyone was going at Bubicon. So that's unfortunate. So let's go then and look at what can we do to recover. If we look at the NP2 stats and I take out the two AFK players, now we will gain a little bit of that, but as it stands without them, ship count we're about even, slightly behind, and new ship production we're slightly behind. Now, if Steely Phil was convinced and compelled to switch sides, it would flip it in our favor. If he sticks with the West, we're slightly behind. And so that's at a macro level. But at let's go battlefront by battlefront. In the Southwest, because Steely Phil down here decided to be a traitor, he's fighting these guys. Now Asian Phoenix has already made it in here. He's actually pretty strong with counts, and Valks is on his way and should be arriving any minute now. I feel like of all three fronts, bottom, south, middle, top, our south is the strongest because we have Asian Phoenix and Valks who should push them back. Hopefully they can do that before Bubicon's dead because he's actually been a really good ally, and I need him to continue to be a buffer to keep Pyro Dre out of my way. So that's the best scenario for us. I think still slightly in our favor is the middle, which is basically just now me. Galactic Peace is gone. He was supposed to come. Armada is gone. Um, but if I but I'm gonna get Armada stars, and with his extra stars and the fact that I've really weakened, I've pulled ahead. We were pretty close at one point, but now I'm, you know, 5K. I'm, what's that? A third of his, he's two-thirds of my size, and I'm 150 more fleets an hour, so I'm way out producing him. I've been keeping up in weapons, which is key. And then it just comes down to Wenatchee, who's actually still ahead of me, although I'm slightly out producing him. So I'm hoping with this extra push from Armada, I'm able to crack the nut and really I've been around here. If you look at some of the I renamed uh what's this? He changed his name. SMD level 20. That's pretty funny. Go away, Guava. Death to the West. Down with Guava. Guava juice in the morning. When are you going to quit? Right? Regurgitated Guava. So at one point, I was all the way over here, and I'm just hitting this. Our Guava is bad for you. So I got all the way over here. And so although I knew I wouldn't keep it, I was disruptive, and I was able to see they're sending everything. There's no big giant clump of fleets that are going to come and mess with me. So if I can just keep slowly pushing them back, which I think I can outplay Guava Trader. Wenatchee's a good player and he's hard, but I think if I can, I can slowly push him back in the middle as long as I don't get messed with anyone else. The biggest problem is up north. Sir Legalot is losing ground. They are gaining. So hashtag is also taking some Armada stars, and then he's also going to start taking Sir Lagalot stars, so he can get bigger. But if I just need to get through the middle enough to start to push up here and help. So that's the best plan of what we need to do. We're talking all micro at this point. There's a lot of little, so we're talking macro. At a micro level, I've been doing a lot of little games like turning on and off warp gates, attacking them, trying to find when they're sleeping and hit them. So I think actually my morning is when they're sleeping. So they must be, so I'm in the US, they must be like in China, India, something like that. I think maybe even Australia. So I think that's where these guys are from. But then that helps me do sneak attacks. So anyway, that's it. We'll see where it goes. This really could still go either way. We're at a tipping point, and I could still win this game, and I could also be wiped from the game. It's too soon to say, but it's looking like it's going to come to an epic conclusion in the next week or week and a half. We are at the end of cycle 23. Let's see what's going on. In my neck of the woods right here in the center, I've been just going back and forth, making ground, losing ground. I haven't been sending all of my forces forward because I've been dealing with Armada, but I've been impressed with how well I've held out. When you look at me compared to Guava Trader, I've really started to pull away from him, and that's wonderful. Wenatchee used to be way more than me as well, and I'm catching up with him. So I'm holding my own, and I think I'm going to stop attacking and just trying to defend at this point. I'm just losing too many ships. I'm going to use that bonus. I don't think me progressing is going to, I don't think I'm going to be able to progress yet. So what I'm going to, my plan right now is finish Armada, and then when this is done, there's going to be kind of a big wave that comes through, and then that'll be my push. So another couple of days, I think, till that happens, probably 2 days. When you look at over here, our hashtag is finishing off the last of Armada stars that he's going to get. I'm within a day. By the next time I do this video, I should have all of this, which means like this whole section will be yellow. And then I'm just going to follow him out. Meanwhile, Volk's down here is finishing off Galactic Pride. And again, they have lower weapons, so it shouldn't be too bad to clean them up. While he's the AI, Armada's still AFK, and I'm guessing probably within the next 24 he'll go. The AI will take over. He'll go AFK. I just want to get I really want to get this cleaned up first so I can just focus on this one chain. And I'd like to be friends with him so that this big ball of death here attacks the enemy and not me. In other news, I am beginning to slip in terms of science. I got a lucky proc, so my research, right, in 2 ticks, I'll finish weapons, and Pirate, he has not done weapons, so we're going to be within an hour of each other, but he started to invest more in science because he's making some progress down here. So I told Vox, I will pick up terraforming. He's already a little ahead of me. He should be able to invest more, and that'll help. The other thing happening then is in the south, there was this big battle of like Volks had 9,000 fleets against 7,000 fleets, so that battle's about to blow things up. Asian Phoenix has been going in, and he's got a couple forward stars, but they've been pushing him back. Pyro Dre has been pushing up, so it's a hot mess down here. But I'm still hopeful that R3 can beat their three. They have to win in the south. There's no solution. I mean, Volks is the strongest player in the game from a number of fleets, from everything. So Volks has to win in the south. Um, and if he can, I just need to hold in the center. I would love to push out more, but I just need to not lose ground because I think we're going to lose in the north. Um, Hashtags continuing to take Sir Lagalot stars. Sir Lagalot is, you can see he's really falling behind, but and currently they're swinging fleets up north. Um, so yeah, I think I think it's still anybody's game, although I don't think I'm really realistically in the running to win it. I think I could get second. So either I lose completely and my stars get completely consumed, or if we ended up winning back, I think this is Volk's game to win, and well deserved by him. First game, he's playing out of his mind. So kudos to him. Hats off to him. I'm happy for him to take and earn a little badge. But let's keep it going. We got a little bit of game left in us. We are at the early hours of cycle 25. If you look on the leaderboard, you might say, hey, you're in first place at day 25. You're doing great. Your ally Volks and Hashtag are your top three of the top four is your team. The problem is when you look at it, we're down to what are you like 10 players, 12 players. And there's only 3 of us that are up there. Everyone else is getting decimated, and we're just losing ground. I'm fairly certain the game is over now, just a matter of time. And the reasoning is if you look up north, you can see the enemy powder and the fiendish have made ground. Um, Hashtag did make some progress here, but like he can't even kill off this guy. I mean, he can't even kill him. He's got 2,000 fleets. He can't kill that guy. And it's because of all the other forces here. They just have, it's just, there's just too many. Down in the south, Volk's making progress as you would have expected. He's doing quite well. But Asian Phoenix has not been communicating now for like a day and a half, and fairly certain, I guess he stopped attacking, so we're fairly certain he's gone AFK. Which, like, why is like Armada and Galactic Peace and like why is our team the one going AFK and quitting, but like none of them on their team are, which is just it's frustrating. So so we're losing in the north, we're losing the south. I've been I've been holding out. Oh, I did tell him go ahead and I made a little embassy for him to just stay alive. But yeah. Oh, by the way, the correct pronunciation is boob connoisseur. He just put a space in a different spot. Um, that's kind of what I thought, boob connoisseur. He said it's kind of elementary, but actually makes it a little more funny now. So, and then in the center, I've created this wall, and I'm making another poke. I'm ahead of him, but when you add in Guava Trader, I'm behind, and 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 Pyro Dre is coming up too, and then there's going to be 3 of them. Um, our Volks is taking out Galactic Peace, and then he's going to send his northern fleets to the center, but he just can't do it soon enough. Like He can't get there quick enough. I did finish off Armada mostly, like and then I spent time, I rerouted everything, so it's just a more direct route, and I'm hoping that give me a little burst. So that's my only hope is, okay, Armada. I needed to spend some resources there. There was some inefficient route, so I fixed all that. Galactic Peace gets wiped out, and Valks takes his stars, and he comes in. But even still, when you look at the big picture, kind of draw a line, like here's the line that's us, right? And we're at best 40% of the galaxy, and the other 60% is them. I said the only other win condition here for us, and I've been telling Vox, is you. I said you need to get your science up and crank out weapons. And that's the only way we win this, because you're going to have more stars, but he's at 183, so he's 5 more. It's not enough. Woke up at 3 in the morning to transfer the weapons over to not lose any hours at all, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. But I think another day or two, this game ends in another sad defeat for me. We fought well, but I won't give up yet. I won't give up yet. But things that cost us would be Armada just not being in it, going AFK. I mean, even still, if he spent that 6,500, almost 7,000 fleets and just attacked with it, and he could have done this, like 3 days ago, it would have made a huge difference. But he basically took a bunch of resources and then went AFK. Galactic Peace did the same thing, took a bunch of resources and quit, just flat out quit. Um, and then Steely Phil flipped because just to save himself. But again, he's not going to get top 3, and so yeah, I mean, so I think that's really what caused it. It's just this is not a game you can really solo win very easily. Not when you have an alliance of there were six players aligned. You can't beat that alone. You need to have a strong alliance. I was able to rally the East against it, but I think it's too little, too late. And then we just got outplayed. Got outplayed in the North. Got outplayed in the South. So that's it for today. We'll see if anything else progresses, but I think I'm just gonna diddle around in the middle here till people come in and kill me. Okay, day 26. We not a lot of progress. The only couple of things that happened. So Armada finally went AFK, and the angry Armada AI hates me, of course, because I took all his home stars. So he's attacking me. I would love for this giant batch to go west, but we'll see. I'll go ahead and buy his love again once I finish taking some of these back end stars. I also, Guava Trader did a really stupid random attack, and Pyro Dre's like, yeah, like he's gone mad. Like he had basically sent out a bunch of fleets to non-stargated stars that I can easily defend. Although this one here is going to be a little bit trickier to get because he sent a bunch, but I think I can still rally the forces to stop it. And he had 5,000 fleets coming into the Death to the West Star, which I killed most of. So yeah, and when he did that, for whatever reason, Wenatchee didn't like join the assault. He just stood pat, and so I'm like, all right. He is sending in 2,000 fleets to my 3,000 that are just going to get killed. I'm not quite sure the move there. If he's just trying to thin the herd a bit, I'm happy to get the defensive bonus for a change. I'm just holding. I'm not even trying to advance down here at this point, and because you see Pyro Dre's coming in hard on the south. There was a slight opportunity with my reroute. I got 2,500. I think if I could take these stars, it would be nice to start pressuring a little bit, because in the north, just to take a little pressure off here, because he's about to get 3-on-1 as Sir Lagalot's pretty much on his way out as well. Our only hope, which again is I think a slim hope, is Volks. Our boy Volks down here. He's finishing up Galactic Peace. I gave him a route through to the center. So my hope is, and the other thing is, he's not officially AFK. Agent Phoenix went AFK too, because, why not? Let's just have our whole alliance go AFK now. And so Volks is taking some of his stars. So I'm just playing for Volks' victory on this one. So Volks is going to try to take Asian Phoenix stars. I told him like you need to get more science. He's at what 202 against 212. He needs to keep that he needs to keep his weapons going. Um, anyway, so Volks is able to get some of these and just hold ground. Send his northern fleets here. If he gives me a little bit of protection from Pyro Dray and even just a little bit of a push, and if maybe Armada AI attacks the Guava Trader, that might be just enough of a window to make some progress and break the deadlock in the middle. If that doesn't happen, then it's game over. Because I don't think we're going to get the big weapons lead. I think Volks just isn't going to be able to pull that off. And so the only way now is this little push that's coming up. And then because the North it continues to crumble. So again, pretty sure we lose, but maybe something happens like Guava Trader loses his mind or someone on their team quits, Um, yeah, that would be, maybe half their team quits. So no, I'll hold out. Something could go on, but again, looking rough. Cycle 28, not looking any better. We are continuing up north to lose ground. I'm continuing in the middle to lose ground. Slowly but surely losing ground. And then, Volks has finally gotten, he kind of finished up all the other AI. So he's up against one, two, three in the south, plus trying to help in the north. So, he's gotten himself nice and strong, but I don't think he's going to be able to push it back. If it is, it'll be a Herculean effort by Volks. I'm fighting the best I can, but just it's a matter of numbers. So, you know, I've got my production really cranked up, but even still, between him plus Guava Trader, both of them on me, I don't have enough to be able to battle both of them, and so between the two of them, they're just working me down. And then up in the north, it's the two powder and well, actually three of them if you count this guy who's miraculously still alive. So yeah, we're outnumbered. Outnumbered. Again, I know the numbers don't matter. Just in terms of players, it's actually easier with fewer players at this point. But just the number of fleets and production they have. If you look at the board, like they own at this point, like 60% of the board, 65% of the board. So it's inevitable. We'll hold on. Maybe someone on their side quits. Oh, Asian Phoenix finally went AFK. So what are you going to do when your whole team goes AFK? Not much you can do. We'll see if anyone on their team fades or, when you're winning, it's easy to stick around. So, all right, we'll see what happens. Cycle 29, more of the same. The north continues to fall. The center continues to fall. Falks is doing a nice job. He gets an A for effort, but, we've got 8,000 coming at me. I can fend things off. Production-wise, I'm still not terrible. I'm actually still doing quite well and outproducing. So what is this? Yeah, Wenatchee's strong. I'm still only like being outproduced about 100 an hour between the two of them, but it's still I'm down 100 an hour, and so I'm just a slow loss up top. I think Volks is holding his own. I think in the south he made some minor gains. So it's possible. He's very positive still that he can win. That we can come out ahead, especially if someone on their side drops if they get bored. But that's what we're banking on. Hold out until they get tired and go away. Beginning of cycle 31. The big news here is nobody got tired and went away. However, we do have two of their players giving up their stars. So down in the south, you have Steely Bill, who is giving his stars to Pyro Dre. And then in the center, you have Guava Trader, who is giving his stars to Wenatchee and to Pyro Dre. And so I asked the question. And in the north, they're all still here. Hashtag says he's going to take out boy here, Bew. I don't know. I take him out before he goes, just out of one more thing, just to say he accomplished. But we're losing. I've held my ground, absorbed a lot of hits, but again, the floods are coming. So here's my question for you guys. I asked the question, was it worth it? So was it worth selling out your teams? Like, all right, great, he flipped to the winning side, but he's still losing his stars. Is that what he hoped for? He said he flipped because he wanted to even fight, but because he thought the East was going to win. But now that's not the case. Like, why not put up a fight? And if he's freely giving him up, then why didn't he just fight earlier to give it to him? And he's like, well, um, he was going to do that earlier. This is exactly what I wanted to happen. I wanted to flip it. Like it makes no sense. Like to me, like Steely Phil is nonsensical. Once my usefulness ran its course, the most helpful thing I do for my alliance is give up my stars. But but they aren't your alliance. They became your alliance because you were bullied into doing it by giving up your stars. The only thing I can think of, and this is maybe a false accusation, but like lifetime player, played a ton of games. I'm guessing he has a relationship with Pyro Dre because there's no good reason. Like there was no good reason if you're gonna if like what was in it for him? It made no sense. So I'm guessing this is some of the metagame outside because what he did was nonsensical, and then like, all right, great. He basically played a game until he got bored, and then he let his friend win. That's all. That's my conclusion, and maybe it's a false accusation, but that's how I read it because otherwise it makes no sense. Well, now Guava Trader's doing makes more sense. Guava Trader was a weaker link. He hadn't been keeping up, and so for him to give up his stars, that makes total sense. Um, so anyway, now we're down to five, right? We're down to Powder, the Fiendish, Wenatchee, Grobe, and Pyrodre. And we'll see what happens. We'll keep holding out, but I mean, still there's five and only three get top spots, so we'll see how they divvy that up. I'm guessing Grobe and Powder aren't going to make it, so you have Pyrodre, Fiendish, and Wenatchee top three. I did ask Pyro Dre, and he said he would create a little history of the game from his perspective that I'll put at the very end. So anyway, that's it for today. Day 32. I'm such an idiot. I did not see the obvious move here that we should have started doing like 3 days ago. Once we knew we weren't going to hold, we should have given all our stars to Volks. And I feel like a fool for not seeing that sooner. Um, but between the three of us now, we have enough stars for Volks to trigger a win. So if he could hold in the south, which he can, if I could hold and hold enough, Volks gets the win. I think honestly it was just me being selfish, trying to save myself. Had he said it, I probably would have gone with it. I didn't think of it until yesterday, and then I felt stupid. So he's on his way. We have coordinated so he could. I've warp gated everything. We're coordinating for him to take my stars, with the goal being to quickly. It's a race now. Can Volks get to 291 before Pyro Dre? And can hashtag and I hold off the forces? So it's actually an interesting game again because we have purpose and we're not just waiting for something miraculously to happen that wasn't going to happen. Again, a couple days ago I should have recognized this, but that's life. The only other thing is just to finish off the conversation about Steely Phil. And again, really interested in the comments about this. So basically, I said, here's my theory. You guys knew each other. And he said, yeah, you guessed it right. Well done. And I just think that's kind of crappy. And so I posted it here in the thread with folks. I wanted the boob connoisseur to see it as well. And he's like, yeah, I know him, but it wasn't the plan from the start. Going up against a friend is enjoyable, which I can agree to. But after he killed my alliance member and could have easily eaten me, he offered to let me live and work with him. So, you know, maybe that's true. Um, so, I don't know. My reaction was that, you know, it's not it's not fair when things from outside the game influence. But you know what? Like now, if I see him, I'm gonna not ally with him. So I suppose that's natural. And maybe I just overreacted. But I just thought that was kind of crappy that because they were allies in prior games, this game he flips on alliance word. Had he stuck with us and actually fought, we very well could have won this game. So he says, what he says is maybe true, but again, I feel like if they were players that had never seen each other, he wouldn't have made that decision, and then my alliance probably wins. But we'll never know. Cycle 33, the race is on between Pyro, Dre, and Volks. It's a close race. Dre's a little bit ahead, but Volks has got all of my expansion, so he should grow. The question is, can he hold off? So we're giving up, from the backside first, and it's just a question of can we hold. The West is throwing everything they can, against the front lines, and it's just a race. Cycle 34, the race continues. Volks pulls into the lead, still has some more ground to make, but I don't know if he can get another 90, 80, 83 stars before the enemy collapses on him. My front lines have been breached, so now it's all on Volk. So I was holding him at bay while he got a big chunk of it. So maybe he can, because we're not putting a resistance and he can put everything to it, but more than likely Pyro Dre wins this, but Volks gets second, so that's kind of a moral victory, I guess, as well. Cycle 35, the race continues. Volks now is a mere 44 stars from claiming victory, which is a moral victory for me. The problem, of course, is that between hashtag and myself that we could give him, that's only like 37. So he's going to need to get a few more on his own while fending off the entire galaxy. Seems unlikely, but you never know if he can squeeze in. It doesn't need that many. The race to the end. Cycle 37. Volks is pretty much finished me off and hashtag and has lost some ground. So it was a good push. We should have started a day sooner, but it looks like now Pyro Dre's got it in the bag. Cycle 38. It's official. Pyro Dre will win the game. The question now is, will Volks be in the top 3, or will he get knocked to number 4? Let's see what the Western powers grant him. Cycle 39, one of the longer games I've played. Pyro Dre is getting very close to ending it. He's consumed Grobe over here, most of him. So he'll just need a few more stars. Volks is still in second. Will he hold that position? Cycle 40, Pyro Dre is now 14 stars away from ending the game. Volks is barely holding on to second. He'll definitely drop down into third. Can he hold on to third, or will he be dropped out of the top 3? And there we have it. The game is complete. Pyro Dre, congratulations. The Fiendish in second. And one bit of controversy at the very end is that Pyro Dre ended the game with Volks in third position. He did not wait around probably less than 24 hours for Wenatchee to go ahead and get his rank points. Pyro Dre, so there was a thread on this, and justifiably, Wenatchee was a little fired up about it, right? They talked about, they talked about some betrayal, and what are you talking about? And basically, the conversation is, when you work as an alliance, you're expecting, one of the people in the alliance to win, and the other people in the alliance in this type of a situation when you clearly have dominance and you can do whatever you want to make sure at least 3 people on your team get some rank points. Pyro Dre's perspective is this game's been going on for 42 days. I just want to get it over with. When she's like, yeah, it went on for 42 days. I'd like to get my rank points out of it. That does matter to me. So my recommendation is to make sure you talk within your alliance as things are getting close. Don't make assumptions. And if you're in the lead, make sure you just take the extra time to reward your allies so they don't get upset. So that'll wrap it up. One bonus feature that I'm excited to be able to do is Pyro Dre actually put together a video that talked a little bit about the game from his perspective. It's a much shorter than the 3 hours of my daily commentary, but it's another perspective and kind of things from his side of what were the key strategic points to secure his team's victory. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, click on the link for the next episode, and don't forget to click subscribe for more content.